Hi, and welcome to Coaching on Demand. My name is Sharon Anderson, and today we are going to go over how to write up a residential purchase agreement, how to set up your transaction in zip forms and send it through DocuSign. If you have any questions on how to do this, you should take a contracts class. This is just an example to get you through writing up the initial offer. Everything that I'm going to do today is just an example. So I'm going to go through all the standard inspection times, all the standard escrow points, standard loan, everything like that. Everything on here that I'm going to do can fluctuate based upon your buyer's needs, everything like that. So please keep that in mind. This is just to get you through writing up an offer. Please keep that in mind. You should take a contracts class to get you further, but this is just going to help you get your initial offer written up or practice doing homework or something like that. So I'm already logged into Zip Forms, as you can see here. Please feel free to pause the video at any point if you want to follow along, or go back and watch it again at any point as you write up an offer at the same time. So I'm already logged into Zip Forms. I'm going to go right up here and I'm going to hit new. And we are going to write a new purchase or offer. And I am going to go a little bit fast just because this video can tend to be pretty long if I go too slow here. So I'm going to go just a little bit fast. So if I'm going too fast, feel free to slow it down just a little bit. I've already pulled up a practice transaction over here in the MLS that we're going to use. Happens to be somebody here in our office that has a listing. So you can see over here on the other side of the screen, this is a home that we're going to practice putting in an offer in. And so that's going to be the title of our transaction. So this is 809 Delmar Downs Road, number A, Road A. And my buyer is actually going to be, I'm always going to name it the last name of my buyer. There we go, which is going to be Lindsay, and it's going to be a residential. Most of you do not have a template, so I'm not going to worry about creating a template or selecting that, so we're just going to hit save. All right, so you're going to want to also have the MLS open on another screen so you can refer to that. You're going to need some of that information as you're creating your transaction here today. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over to my MLS, and I'm going to copy this right here, this MLS number, hit edit, copy, and I'm going to paste that number right here. This is my MLS number. It's on the summary page here. Actually not in the right place. I'm going to go to MLS Connect, I'm sorry. And we're going to paste our MLS number right there. So what this is going to do is this is going to connect it to the MLS, and it's going to import some basic information. So we're going to grab the MLS number, MLS Connect, hit import, maybe. For some reason it's not finding that one. Awesome. Let's just double check. 2200434-2SD. All right. It's not finding that one. So theoretically that should work. But we're going to go ahead and enter our information here. City, Solana Beach. You do need the parcel number. Almost everybody writing up their first transaction forgets this, which is right there. We're going to copy the parcel number. You need the county. Basically, this is the only information that you need in this place right here. The other really important part to writing up a transaction is the parties tab. So what we're going to do is you're going to click on the buy side right here, and you're going to enter your buyer information. We're going to hit buyer number 1. So my buyer is my daughter, Jessica Lindsay. She gets to be my practice person. We're just going to say test email1@gmail.com. You don't really need any other information in here right now. You really need, if you're going to DocuSign to your client, you need their name and their email address, and that's really all that you need right here. If there's a buyer number 2, you'll click buyer number 2. You are the selling agent in this transaction. You are selling your client the home. So you're going to click selling agent. You are going to fill out all this information, and it's going to be you. I have already saved my information in the address book, which if you take a few minutes, fill this information out. You only have to do it one time, and you can go to the address book every time you write up a contract and fill it in. And for some reason mine pulls up like this every single time, 92130. So this is information that you can copy right here. If you are in the Carmel Valley office, our broker is Richard Winkler, and his license number is this, 01524589. All of this information everywhere else should be relevant to you. You can save that into as a contact into Zip Forms and pull that up every single time. So I'm going to hit save. What this is going to do by saving this into the Parties tab is it's going to save it into the transaction, and every form that you pull up, it's going to auto-populate this onto every form that you create in Zip Forms. So now I have my buyer. I only have one buyer right now. If I had 2 or 3, they would all go on here. Now we're going to go to the sell side. If you're going to write up a good offer, you should always include the seller information and the listing agent information on your contract. I've seen offers, and I get offers that don't have that information, and it's really frustrating because I have to go back and put that information. So if you want to be a good agent, you should always put that information. It can be found on the MLS and on the tax records. So here is the listing that we're using. So right here, Justin Filler, he's out of our Carmel Valley office right here. He's the listing agent on this transaction. So let's just go over here to listing agent, and we're going to fill in Justin Filler. He is also with Keller Williams Realty, and I happen to know who his broker's name is and all that information, but if you click on this link right here, it tells you his office broker. And if you scroll down, here's his office ID number, 01524589. You can fill that information in as well. 01524589, Richard Winkler, right there. And Justin's ID number is this, his MLS, his DRE number. We're going to put that right here. You don't need any other information on here. You're never going to DocuSign the broker or the other agent through DocuSign, so you're just going to hit save. So now you're going to fill in the seller information. If you go back over to the MLS, all these little tabs under here, you should try exploring sometime, but this one in particular is going to take you to the tax information, in particular for this home. So we're going to see our current owner. Looks like Justin's parents own this house, but the owners are Peter Filler, Peter J. Filler, and Tracy A. Filler. So we're going to fill in Peter J. Filler. I don't need any other information. I'm never going to DocuSign these people. And Tracy A. Filler. That is all I need. All right. Now we have all the parties' information filled out. I'm going to go over to the Documents tab. Yours is likely blank. I have a template already created, but what you are going to do is going to go, you probably have nothing filled in any of this space right here. You're going to go up to All Forms, and you're going to type in or look for right here where it says Residential Purchase Agreement. You're going to click on that tab, and you're going to add it. What it's going to do is it's going to add it to your file. Once it does that, you're going to click on that and open that up. And we're going to wait for it to open. I'm going to go through this pretty fast because I don't want this video to be long. So if you're having trouble following along, you can go back, you can watch it again, you can pause it as we go along. This information should be mostly filled in. All right. Some of this is going to automatically populate, so you're going to want to check this information. Right here, I don't have a buyer on this line, so this needs to be unchecked, okay? But make sure that it is checked if I do have a buyer. So I'm just going to scroll through some of this. If you have not taken the time to print out one of these forms and read it all the way through, you should. I'm going to fill in the date because I am going to DocuSign this to myself today. I don't know when Justin's going to sign it, so I'm not going to fill in the date. The date prepared is going to be today. Okay, this all auto-populated because I've already filled in this information. Because I've filled in this information, this box should already be checked. Justin represents the seller and I represent the buyer. If I'm a dual agent, I'm going to check the dual agent box right here. All of this information, for some reason it didn't save Justin's DRE number. Let's just go back up here and type that in. His DRE number is 02. Actually, let's just copy it. Copy, we'll paste that right there. There we go. Now it's there. Okay, so let's see what we're going to offer. So the house is 1.1, so let's just offer 1.1 here. We're going to offer 1,100,000. Oops, I'm missing a zero. There we go. Okay, that's going to be our purchase price. Close of escrow. You have to fill something in. You can't leave it blank. Are you going to pick a date? Are you going to do, we're just going to say 30 days after acceptance. Expiration. If you don't fill anything in here, it is automatically going to expire 3 days. So unless you have a particular date or time, leave it blank. Initial deposit. Typically 1 to 3% of the purchase price, because I am not a math genius and I never do math in my head. I'm going to multiply 0.03 times my purchase price. So I'm going to put down $33,000. So we're going to put down 3% of the purchase price. Our loan amount. So let's just say we're doing a conventional loan. Again, I don't do math in my head. So our 1.1 times 20%. So we're going to put down 20% of our loan. We just know we're doing a conventional loan. Let's just say that's what your client is doing. Our loan amount is going to be 20% of the purchase price. So we're going to have a $220,000 down payment. So we're going to take $1.1 million and we're going to subtract $220,000. And that's going to be our loan amount of $880,000. There we go. Does that make sense? And that's what's going to go here. And if you look right here, we have $187,000 remaining, because if you take 187 plus 33, that should equal your total plus this is this. All right. Most of this, you don't need an increased deposit, additional finance. You mostly can skip all of that information. That's in a rare situation. You would do an increased deposit. Most people don't need that, or additional financed. Seller credit, that's rare. Verification of cash, down payment, loan. You should have all of this when you're submitting an offer, especially in the market that we're in right now. So we're going to leave this as you're going to submit this, but please check one of these boxes. So I'm going to check that I have a fully underwritten pre-approval. We're going to leave all of these as standard. So final verification, 5 days. Assignment, 17. We're going to have a 17-day loan contingency, 17-day appraisal, 17-day investigation. If I want to lower this to 10 days for investigation, I'm going to do that. If I'm going to lower it to 10 days, I should also lower these to 10 days, okay? 10, 10. These are all going to line up. That way we're going to have our investigation completed within 10 days. If I want to waive my appraisal, we're going to check that right there, okay? time of possession. All these are pretty standard. If you have any question on what any of these mean, if you don't know what this means, N1, you're going to go to line 14A at the bottom of this contract and read what that means. Okay? All of these are pretty standard. I'm just going to leave those. If the property is tenant occupied, you're going to check this box right here, and there's going to be another form attached that you get to fill out. Okay? Read what all of these means. If there are any of these in the property when you view them, check these boxes. If there's a refrigerator, if there's a washer, a dryer, if there's a microwave, a dishwasher, you should check these. If there's no video doorbell, don't check it, because you're going to have to be countered saying there's no video doorbell. There's no wine refrigerator, don't check those boxes. Only check what is actually there, not what you think your client would like. Okay, these are standard. I'm going to check seller, environmental, and provided by. And I always use my NHD unless there's another reason not to. There's no reports. If you would like a termite inspection, you're going to do that, and you're going to say seller. Smoke alarms, government, required point of sale, I'm going to check for seller. Escrow, each to pay their own. Oh, check, there we go. And we're going to write seller's choice. Title, seller, seller's choice. County transfer and city transfer, it's always going to be seller. Unless you have an investor that specifically says that they will pay it. These can sometimes get expensive, so always going to be seller. If there's an HOA, let's see right here, there's an HOA. So yes, it's always going to be seller. Again, unless you have a buyer or an investor that says I'll pay for that, it's always going to be seller. Fees or costs. Home warranty plan. You got to pick one. You can't leave it blank, okay? So it's based upon the size of the home, 1,300 square foot. You can research this, but I'm going to say $650. I want the seller to pay it, and we'll use Old Republic. You can waive it. You can pay for it yourself, whatever you want to do. Any other terms, if you're going to put an escalation clause, if you're going to give a free rent back, if you're going to say buyer to allow seller to rent back up to 59 days at no cost to seller. You can put that here. Anything that you're going to write would go right here. Okay? Escalation clause, any random stuff, it's going to go in box R. And that's pretty much it. Any other addendums, anything you're adding, if this is manufactured home, it's going to go here. You're going to check this, and you're going to add the manufactured home purchase agreement along with this. If there's septic, these are going to be different boxes that you check. If the home is written up in a trust, you're going to check these boxes. For the most part, that's it. I'm going to scroll down because there's nothing to check. These are where you're going to read if you don't know what you're doing. We're going to scroll down all the way to page 15. Actually, page 16. And you need to make sure this information is filled in. Sharon Anderson at kw.com. I want my texting number. All right. This is where they're going to deliver back your contract. So you need to have this information all filled out here. Don't leave it blank. Escrow's not going to know how to get a hold of you. The other agent's not going to know how to get a hold of you. All this information should be filled in. All right. Then you're going to hit save. And now you're ready to DocuSign. You're going to hit e-sign. You should already be connected to DocuSign if you've attended the class on how to get your zip forms in DocuSign connected. Your residential purchase agreement should have already showed up if you've done it right through there. If not, you can select your document or any other documents to include. You're going to hit next. You're going to select your buyer. There's my buyer, and then you're going to scroll down and select yourself. We're going to hit close. If you want to change the signing order for any reason, you can do that right here. I always sign last. I never sign before my clients. So what's going to happen is you're going to hit next here. Your clients are going to get an email in the order that you've selected right here. So whoever's number 1 is going to get an email first. Number 2 and number 3 are not going to know that there's even a DocuSign out there until number 1 signs, and then it's going to go in order. Once everybody signs, if you're last, you'll get an email ready to sign, and then once everybody's done signing, you'll get an email with your document. So this is your, right now the templates are a little bit off, so you might have to scroll down. But if you needed to change anything or add a signature, you would do it right here. If I wanted to go add my signature, I could bring it over here and drag it on a line if I needed to do that, okay? And then I'm gonna go up here and hit send, but scroll through the whole document, make sure everything's looks in order, in the right place. For some reason, the templates are a little bit off right now with the new purchase agreement in the new year, so you kind of have to scroll through and make sure things are on the right line, or they're ending up in weird places. So you might have to go through and make a few adjustments. But other than that, should be ready to go and hit send. And this is going to send it to person number 1 that you have selected. Okay, so once you've done that, hopefully I've already reviewed this. This is just a practice one for you to do, but this is basically how to write up the residential purchase agreement. Before you do send this to your clients, if you are still in the productivity coaching program, you will need to save this as a PDF and email it to me for review, or have the broker review it as well. So you should have instructions on how to do that if you're regularly attending coaching. So good luck. Happy offer writing. May your offer be accepted. Thank you for attending How to Write Up a Purchase Agreement. Hope to see you in coaching very soon.